Hello, I'm here at Stillwater Public Schools at Highland Park Elementary School, and I'm joined by Mrs. Michaela Ellis-Cannady. She's a teacher here, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be able to speak with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, thanks. So, what grade do you teach here at Highland Park Elementary School?
I teach second grade here at Highland Park, and I've been here for about 6 years.
Okay, so second grade.
Second grade.
So, how old are the kids in second grade?
7 to 8 years old.
They're 7 to 8 years old. Okay, that's a tough group, right? Is it tough
Fun
to
group.
wrangle
So you
8-year-olds?
could say some years
Okay.
it's like wrangling goldfish in the ocean,
Okay.
but in a great way. It's fun. It's fun.
Okay, so how long have you been a teacher here?
6 years. I did my student internship here as well. So in total, I've been here for 7 years.
Okay, so you've been here for total 7 years. You did a student internship when you were studying to be a
Yes.
teacher, and then you decided, hey, I like it here. I'm going to stay.
Yes. Yeah. I was offered a job in January 2020, and absolutely, this was my first choice. I did my student internship here in 5th grade and 3rd grade, and I was asked to stay, and so I stayed. I've been here ever since.
Okay, that's quite a time to get a job offer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what was
absolutely.
that like?
It was a great first 9 weeks, and then we went to spring break. We came back from spring break, and we didn't come back from spring break because there was a thing called COVID happening, and they said, stay home. Everything's virtual now. So it was a very interesting first year experience.
Yeah, it sounds like you made it through, though.
Yes.
Okay, in the end.
Yes.
Yeah, that is an interesting first experience.
Very.
So, how did you end up coming into teaching? You mentioned that you were a student teacher. Did you go through a university to get here? How did that work for you?
Yes. So I went to Oklahoma State University and I majored in elementary education. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in elementary education with a minor in sign language. And I knew that's what I wanted to pursue when I went to Oklahoma State, and I graduated with that degree.
Okay, so you knew before going off to college, I want to be a teacher. I mean, what got you, how did you know that? When did you know this is the right profession for me and why?
As early as 6 to 8 years old, I come from a family of educators. My late grandfather was an educator. My mom is an educator. She was a child care director for over 20 years. Her sister is a child care director currently, and she's been doing that for a little over 15 years. So it runs in the family. We're a
runs
family
in
of
the family.
educators. My sister's an educator. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to see it firsthand from all of your different family members who
Yes.
are involved with children, involved in education. That didn't make you think, gosh, that's not for me. In fact, it was quite the opposite for you.
Yes.
What was it about that, though? I mean, what did you see in your family members that made you say, I want that for myself?
Passion. A lot of passion. Were there hard days? Of course. Were they tired? Some days. But just their willingness to step back into the school setting every day for, my grandfather, 20 years, he taught middle school math and still had the same drive he did when he retired. So I would just say watching them go into school every day with a fresh view, with
Yeah.
a nice fresh view on what the day is going to be. They didn't linger in a certain emotion. They just went back and knew that the next day was going to be better, or, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to show up for these kiddos, things like
Yeah.
that. So watching them and their passion for teaching inspired my passion for teaching.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I guess every day's different in a sense, so it keeps things fresh. And like you say, there are certainly challenges associated with that too.
Yes.
Sometimes different is good, sometimes different isn't so good.
Yes.
But in talking with teachers around the state, it seems like a lot of folks say, I show up to the job and I can see the impact of what I'm doing. I can see it over time. I can see it on a daily, sometimes a weekly basis. So what are your students like, and how do you know, do you ever see yourself having an impact on kids that you've worked with here?
Yes, absolutely see myself having an impact. I have had many of students who range on different levels of social, emotional, developmental skills. I've seen students who come in and have been just so angry and so, I don't want to be here. And so putting effort into their social emotional skills, watching them grow, giving them the tools to combat that anger, to say, we have breathing skills we can use. We use something called conscious discipline here, which we learn all about our brain state so that students are aware of how they're feeling. And so I take a lot of that into my classroom, and I try to incorporate those different skills, those lifelong skills into students. So I had a student last year who he was ornery, you could
Hmm.
say. And so we just worked a lot on how do you feel when you get to this level of anger? How do you feel? How does your body feel? What does your heart rate feel like? What do your hands feel like? Are they shaking? And so we worked a lot on identifying our emotions and then putting a coping skill, positive coping skill with that. And I get to see the student walk to third grade now and hear how successful he's doing in his third grade class and how much happier he is at school just because of the time that myself and my student teacher put into the student so that they had regulated emotions and could regulate and explain and express in a manageable way how they're feeling.
Right. And so it's not just instruction necessarily, although that might be related to how a student performs in school if they're
Mhm.
able to build some of those life skills, as you say. But that's really interesting. So you've been trained to do that sort of work, and
Yes.
that sounds like it's quite impactful.
I believe it is very impactful to not just that student and not just students who come in angry, but all students need to be aware of how they're feeling and how to express those emotions and how to deal with those emotions because we'll deal with emotions for the rest of our lives. And it starts at this early age, understanding how to cope and how to cope in a healthy way.
Yeah, I guess that's a really interesting part of teaching and learning and school life that maybe people who are outside of the profession don't think as much about, but it sounds incredibly important.
Yes.
What about when you have challenges or your workload's kind of piling up, or you're dealing with various issues at the school? Are there other are you on your own out there and it's up to you to get everything done within your classroom? Are there other supports within the system that you can draw on, or other colleagues that you can work with to work through challenges as they arise?
Absolutely. I would say that we're a school family here. And so I know that no matter what I'm going through, I can lean on my team, my second grade team. I can rely on the other teachers from other grades, my admin. If there's a problem or if I'm feeling very stressed and I feel overwhelmed, I can go to them and say, here's what I'm feeling. Can you help me? Can you support me in some way?
Do they have,
Absolutely.
they step in and help you?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. They absolutely step in and help. And not just with, it's a what can I do? How can I help you? And it is so important in this profession that you have admin and a team who will step in and say, how can I support you? What do you need? And then they do. They follow through and they support you. If I'm overwhelmed, if I have, you know, a million standardized tests that I have to get done, I have a team who will step in and say, let's split your class. I'll
Right.
take half and then you take half and we will get it done. How can I support you? So absolutely, this is a school family here. And when we say school family, we mean that.
Yeah. Okay. And it is standardized testing week here. So I guess that's at the top of your mind. Do you have colleagues here that you work with that you work with on maybe instruction or other things?
Yes, I work with my team very closely, my second grade team. I work with admin very closely. We have a weekly team meeting on Tuesdays where we sit down, we look at students' academic performance, we see where they're at, how much growth they need to make by the end of the school year, by the end of the quarter, sometimes by the end of the week, depending on what we're doing in class that week. And yes, I would say we absolutely work very closely together with my colleagues, all colleagues, especially with admin. They take a very crucial role in building that education, or trying to bridge the educational gap, excuse me, between where students are and where they need to be.
Yeah, yeah. So do you because you teach second grade, now what grade does this school, does it go up to fifth grade here?
Yes, Highland Park goes up to fifth grade.
Okay.
So we service pre-K all the way to fifth.
Are you then able to kind of see your students who you've had in second grade? Because that's a pretty formative year.
hmm
Do you kind of see them get up to fifth grade and then kind of head out the door to middle school? That must be kind of interesting to watch that trajectory.
Yes, it is, especially now. I've had two groups now graduate from fifth grade and go off to the middle school. And so it's as a teacher, it's very inspirational to watch where they've started versus where they are when they leave these doors. And I feel like a majority of them leave so ready, and they are so developmentally, academically, socially ready to step into the next school, which would be middle school for them. And so it's inspirational to watch them and see not just my impact, but the impact my colleagues have made moving forward. And all the way from pre-K, a lot of our students have been here from pre-K to fifth. And so watching them from teeny tiny 4 and 5 year olds all the way to walking across our stage in the gym to graduate, it's very important as a teacher to see that
Yeah.
development.
Yeah, I guess it's another way of seeing your impact when you watch these children grow up in a sense.
Yes.
Um, so what about families and I mean, parents can be pretty demanding, I would guess, at times, and you have to deal with all kinds of communication with
Sure.
parents, and sometimes I'm sure there's some challenges there. But what about families? I mean, are they supportive of the work that you're doing, or do you find that generally challenging? What does that look like for you?
Every year has challenges, but I would say the majority of our parents are very supportive, and they are very involved and engaged in what we're doing. We keep very close contact with our parents with anything going on in the school so that they know what's going on, where their student is at. And we try our best not to just communicate with parents about just academics or when a behavior arises, but whenever they are doing positive things and making a positive impact on our school. I try to do a monthly check-in with parents just to send them an email saying, your student this month was superb. They were so great. They worked so hard. They were so helpful, so engaged, just so that parents know that they're not only hearing about academics and what's going on in the school, but they're actually keeping up with the progress of their students as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So surely, given all the work that you're doing, communicating with families, working with your students on a daily basis, surely you don't have a life outside of school.
I mean, it depends on the time of the year, but
Okay.
I typically, yes, I do things outside of school. I love to hike. I just got back from Colorado a couple months ago for my honeymoon. We
Oh,
went to Rocky.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park. It was great. So we love to hike. My husband loves to fish. We like being outdoors. I like to rollerblade. He likes to fish. He likes to hike. He's trying to pick up golf now.
Okay.
So that's been fun. I
Okay.
said, no thanks on the golf. But
Is teaching conducive to being able to do things like that, or does
y-
it constrain you from being able to do some of those things that you like?
no, I don't think it constrains you from doing things. It's all about time management. It's all about how much you leave at school and how much you take home. I always encourage people, you know, if you have a lot to do, absolutely get it done, but make sure that you're managing your time so that you get to go home and enjoy doing the activities and hobbies that you like, reading a book, or even if you just need to go home and fold laundry, make sure you have time to do that. The work will always be here,
Right.
but you have to just make sure you manage that time for your actual social life because we do have lives
Yeah.
outside of school.
Okay. All right. Just checking. And then in summer, things slow down a little bit. So you probably have a
Yes.
little bit more time, do you find, in summer, or is
Yes, a lot of time in summer to do all the things we like to do. We're a big swimmer family. We like to go out on the lake, do things like that. But we absolutely have a lot of time. Now, there is professional development we
Sure.
do in the summer, of course. There are certain things you have to do.
You're not just off the entire time.
No,
You've
no.
got work. You're
We,
doing work, but you're a
yes.
little more freed up, it sounds like.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
yes.
so one question I have for you, as I go around the state and talk with not just people who are in schools, but people outside of schools, you hear different perceptions of teaching and what teaching is like today. And I was wondering, what do you think about that? What do you think people should understand about teaching today, or what are some maybe even misconceptions out there that maybe people don't really haven't understand what it's really like? And what are your
Sure.
thoughts on that?
Sure. I think today is there's so many opinions from outside, but I think the gist of teaching is we put in so much effort of teachers across all grade levels from pre-K to high school. There is so much time put into making sure that our students are where they're supposed to be so that they are set up for success when they leave the elementary level or the middle level or the high school level and go off to college or whether they're going into the workforce. I would say sometimes I feel that outside people who aren't inside the education system think that we're glorified babysitters, but that is not the case. We are doing so much in academics and social work and making sure that these students are, like I said, successful when they leave the building, no matter what career path or higher education they choose to pursue post graduation. So I would say that's probably my biggest takeaway is teachers put in so much time that you don't see, time behind, staying late and making sure that students go home and they're happy and they're learning and they know that they are loved and they know that they are supported by not just their parents, but their teachers and the people they
Sure.
interact with at school.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a lot of responsibility, but it sounds like that's also what's driven you into this role, is that
Absolutely.
you kind of get something, a sense of purpose from having those kinds of
Yes.
responsibilities, essentially training up the next generation for the state and beyond. So it's pretty
Absolutely.
incredible.
Well, thank you.
Um, okay, so I think I know the answer to this, but are you planning, do you think you're going to stay in the profession over the long run? I mean, you've known you wanted to do this for a long time. Maybe you're
Yes.
not leaving now, but would you do this again?
Yes. In a heartbeat. This is teaching is my calling. I would teach probably in every lifetime.
Okay.
It is my calling. I know that this is what I was sent to do. This is my work in the world, is making sure that I help develop this next generation of students who will go off and be amazing citizens and productive citizens in our society.
Great. Yeah.
So absolutely I would.
All right. Well, I've been speaking with Mrs. Michaela Ellis-Kennedy, one of Oklahoma's great teachers. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Dr. Hamlin. I appreciate it.